So there's a lotus flower here.
A lotus with Japanese waves on my thigh.
Sarah's body is sitting on a big pink lotus on my back.
I just wanted something pretty, and we started with a quarter sleeve, and we just went full sleeve on it, just pretty flowers.
And then I got cherry blossoms on my calf.
And then I have my Salvador Dali meditating rose.
I have a black rose on my stomach.
Women would come into my tattoo studio through the years and want to be tattooers.
When you called a shop that was run by men and said, "Hi, I'm a girl and I want a tattoo."
And I always used to tell them, look it, honey, you got the world's oldest profession tied up. Now you want the second?
Oh, you can't tattoo. It's for a man's world. And we're not hiring.
Yeah, we
So
want it all.
do me a favor, buzz off.
The guys really tried hard to keep all us girls out of the business.
And I became a professional tattooer in 1949. And then I tattooed and been connected with the industry, I guess, since like 1946. But women in tattooing, historically, is that they were generally, their husband was a tattooist, and they just sort of like spilled over into the industry.
I went to get a tattoo. I never even knew what a tattoo was, really, but I was dating a guy that wanted to get one. So the closest place was in Brunswick, Georgia, and I went there to get a tattoo, and the tattoo artist fell in love with me, and that was Eric Inksmith of Inksmith and Rogers Tattooing. Well, I ended up marrying the guy, so I had an apprenticeship kind of every day, you know, from getting the coffee to cleaning to, you know, just learning. He would give me little drawings to look at and things to take home and color with colored pencils and little flash that we had back in the day, because back then there wasn't a lot of shared information like there is today. There was no internet. We didn't have internet. We didn't have the media. We didn't have magazines. There was only a couple, and they were very hard to get, especially down south.
At first it was a little hard because he was against the whole relationship, working together, and he thought maybe it would be a bad idea. And, you know, I just kept on bugging him about it. I wasn't very persistent and told him, you know, to give me a chance. And the first tattoo, I tattooed my friends, so at first. And then from there, he just, he gave me the opportunity for a tattoo apprenticeship.
He wouldn't let me tattoo because he taught his wife before me to tattoo, and she took half his business. So I was very content with doing everything else. I mean, the cleaning, the sterilization, the handling of the artwork, the handling of the customers, the paying the bills, just making sure that the shop runs smooth. And that's what a manager should do. To be an apprentice, you know, you usually have to find someone who will apprentice you. Back in the day, you know, you really had to be in with someone to learn this because people did not want to give up their secrets. They didn't want a bunch of other shops opening up next to them and taking their customers. So they weren't just going to teach everybody to tattoo.
That's the funny part. He told me that girls shouldn't tattoo, so he said that I was his son. That's what he told people. Because he was just from such an old school genre, like girls shouldn't be tattooed, get tattooed, shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Finally, I walked into a shop in Colorado, and they were kind of hesitant because they didn't want to apprentice a girl because they thought that I couldn't handle like what they were, you know, about ready to put me through. Which was kind of true. It was rough. It was really rough. And so I was with them for a little bit and then moved to San Diego and apprenticed under Sierra Cult at Funhouse. And I don't know, I still kind of consider myself still being an apprentice. I'm still learning.
It's kind of a rite of passage where you're sitting with the person you admire and totally they're teaching you all this really amazing stuff, and then they turn around and tattoo you, so it's even better because, I mean, the guy that did most of my sleeve, that I totally, like, he was to me, like, there was nobody else, because it was amazing. His name was Robert, well, his name's Robert Black.
Oh, and then I met Danny, of course. I sought him out after I'd heard that he opened a shop in Seattle. So I ran down to the shop and just asked him if I could be his helper type person. So he said yes, and that was kind of like the beginning. And then I decided that I would design all these really great tattoos for women, because there wasn't anything available. It was all male-oriented, basically.
I got apprenticed by Carrie at the Anaheim shop, so I've been at Outer Limits for 13 years now.
Well, she was a really fast learner. You know, she's really precise in everything she does, very mechanical, very mathematical. So for her, you know, doing a clean line and putting the shading in, the basics that you teach first became very quick for her. And she's one of the, I think she's the best technical tattooist that I've ever seen.
Oh, come.
No, I'm serious. As far as how clean the line is and how perfect the shading is, I really believe that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'll give you your $2,000 later.
Good, good.
And my mom, she's horrified to
Yeah.
this day. As a matter of fact, I mean, like, it was such a big deal when I told them that I I was dropping out of college and that I was a lesbian and that I was a tattoo artist all at the same time. I dropped the bomb.
Fainted, Mom fainted.
My mom cried for at least a year. She seriously just cried. And she didn't know which one was the worst of them all, you know?
Johnny Williams is apprenticing me from abstract art. Yeah, and he's making out with me. One of the things about being an apprentice is doing all the cleaning, the sterilization of all the tubes, and building the needles, and you do a lot of what we call the bitch work.
I work really, really hard, and I love it. I clean up after Vivian, her station. I clean everything after she's done. I clean the shop, I sweep, I mop, I wipe down counters.
You know, I would sit and build needles all day long, and if I messed up one needle, that was 100 more needles I had to build. He didn't give me any breaks.
I watch the front desk, I check emails, I answer the phones. I'm working on art projects every once in a while. She's given me a goal of making a flash set, which I've been working on every time I get a free chance. But there's so much shop-related stuff that I need to do that it's kind of hard to get to it.
Just trying to, one, maintain 3 boys in one shop. You know, it's like I'm a mother of 3 special children. Over time, just gradually, I got to doing less, you know, maintenance and then more tattooing, so. They keep asking me the same questions of, you know, I'm in school too right now. Like, it's my own personal preference. I just want to get a degree. But they're like, well, Renee, what are you going to do, you know, after you get your degree? I'm like, tattoo. I'm like, well, are you making money, you know? Like, well, what are you going to do after that? I'm like, tattoo. Maybe sell some paintings. Be a stay-home mom and tattoo. But, you know, they don't really take it they don't see it as a serious business. They don't realize how much money you could make off of it, what an investment it is, and it is a craft more than just, you know, something that's looks very playful like on TV and, you know.
2 days a week, I actually am a freelance artist out of my home to make money, because here I'm not making any money.
It's way harder than it looks. And I thought, from being around it for so long and dealing with customers and dealing with artwork and watching my friends do it, that I would just know what to do. And it's really one of those, it's like a surgeon. You have to get in there and do it. You can read as many books as you want, but until you actually do it, you don't even know what it's like, you know? And it's very, very intimidating. It's very intimidating to me. I mean, I'm not gonna give it up, but it's very intimidating. You know, I don't wanna I don't wanna be that person who gives other people bad tattoos. Because people have there are people in the industry who will tattoo anything on anyone, you know, with no kind of ethics or morals, you gotta draw the line sometimes, you know? But I don't wanna be that person to give people what we call scratch. I don't wanna be a scratcher, you know? I want to be a real artist, but it's something that is taking time.
It's the Romanian coat of arms. It's like the shield. It's a Romanian-Hungarian.
A swallow that says familia. I'm Cuban and Lebanese, and my Cuban heritage is a huge part of who I am.
I'm a musician. I've been playing music since I was a kid, and I'm Cuban. My family's Cuban, so I did an eighth note with a Cuban flag as the flag, and then I put my initials above it.
The Mayan piece is on my forearms because half of my family is, Spanish and native from the middle of Mexico, Central America.
I'm Arabic too. I'm Lebanese, so I wanted something in Arabic, and at 18 I saw, oh, I'm free, like freedom. So I found calligraphy, like Arabic calligraphy, and I got that on my ankle.
And my upper arm pieces, which I can't really show you because I'm wearing the big long sleeve thing, I've got a big Chinese water dragon on the upper left arm and a Chinese kind of good luck bat on my upper right, because on my mom's side of the family, they go back to China.
This one was done by Leslie Ma when she was in Diving Swallow. A design from the Kalinga people. It's a tribe in the Philippines. They're still there, and they've been doing this like since the dawn of time, I guess.
And I got the Hello Kitties on my wrist because I like Hello Kitty.
The first woman that worked for me was, her name's Sheila May. I've sold my last tattoo studio to a lady tattoo artist. And then she's had a couple of women work for her in there. Her trade name is Tanya Nix. As far as I was concerned, they didn't fit in, but now they fit in. I mean, if I opened another tattoo shop, I might just hire all women. I love women.
We love you.
Huh?
We love you.
Okay.
But at first, they either came in and looked at me as a possible date, a possible mother, a nurse, a slut. What projection came in the door.
Back then, people go, oh, you're the only one to her. You're the only girl artist.
Not taken real seriously when people came through the door sometimes. Even today, after almost 30 years, sometimes I'll be tattooing a man and people will walk in and they'll ask the man the question.
When I did have a boyfriend, he was a carpenter, and I'd bring him to these conventions, and every time, without missing a beat, they would talk to him about tattoos. Not to the tattooist, they talked to the carpenter.
And in her age, it was like, well, now I have one by a girl, so I'm a feminist.